Good morning, Year 5. Happy Monday. It is the 22nd of June 2020. June is absolutely flying by. We are into, I think, possibly week 4 of learning now this half term, about 3 weeks to go, possibly. So not much longer to go. We are about halfway through the term. You're all doing really well. As I said on Friday, please keep up the learning, keep it going. We understand it's hard, but please keep going and persevering. So quick maths lesson then. Multiplying fractions is something that we have noticed that you are still a bit stuck on, not secure. You're used to making the denominators the same when we're adding and subtracting fractions, but multiplying is really, really easy. You don't have to make the denominators the same. You literally just need to times the top and times the bottom. So 3 times by 1 over 4 times by 5. Okay, so obviously we just get 3/20ths, which is nice and easy. Okay. So looking down at this one here, then again, we're going to do 4 times by 3 and 10 times by 4 because we're multiplying fractions. And when we're multiplying fractions, the denominators do not need to be the same. We just do top and top, bottom and bottom. So 4/3 times over 4 times 3 over 10 times by 4, which is 12 over 40. Now, I can leave my answer like that. I haven't made it, it doesn't say in the question to simplify, but I do know that my 2's go into 12, so I can simplify it to make it smaller. So half 12 and half 40, which is 20. And again, 2's go into 6 and 20, so I can divide by 2 again, which gets me to 3/10. So that would be my simplified answer. Okay. Now, looking here again then, multiplying fractions, nice and easy. Top times top, bottom times bottom, we get 3 over 18. And times table that goes into 3 and 18 is 3. How many 3's in 3? 1. How many 3's in 18? 6. So my answer becomes 1/6 if I simplify it. And then 4/5 times by 4/5. So if I'm timesing the same thing by itself, I'm basically doing 4/5 squared, aren't I? Because I'm timesing it by itself. So 4/5 times by 4/5, well, 4 times 4, 5 times 5 is 16 over 25, and that would be my final answer. Now, then you've got some questions which look like this, and I know there were some questions similar to this in the arithmetic paper over the past couple of weeks. We're multiplying fractions. Here is a fraction, and we're multiplying it by a whole number. So what we need to do is we need to make this whole number a fraction. Well, at the moment, we are in the year 2020, and if I was to write 2020 as a fraction, it would be 2020 over 1, because that actually means 2020 divided by 1. That's what a fraction is, it's divide. Okay. If I was to write the number 55 and I wanted to turn it into a fraction, then I would write it as 55 over 1. If I wanted to write, perhaps some of you are 10 years old, if I want to write your age as a fraction, so 10, it would become, you guessed it, 10 over 1. If some of you are 9, your age as a fraction would be 9 over 1. You literally just make it 9, the number over 1. So here, this whole number, 12, and we want to make it a fraction, it just becomes 12 over 1. And now you can see that if I go back to here, it's similar to these style of questions where you can literally just do top times top, bottom times bottom. So 12 times 2 is 24, and then 1 times 7 is 7. So the answer would be 24 over 7. Now, that is top heavy, it's improper, so I can make it into a mixed number. How many 7's go into 24 is 3, with a remainder of 21, 22, 23, 24, 3 7ths left. So it'd be 3 and 3 7ths, or 3 whole 3 7ths, or 24 over 7. So here we've got 9 times by 3/4. Well, I need to make that a fraction, so I'm going to make it 9 over 1. And now I can just do top times top, bottom times bottom. 9 times by 3 is 27, and then 1 times by 4 is 4. How many 4's go into 27? Well, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. So 7's too many, so it would be 6 whole, 24, 25, 26, 27. So 6 and 3/4 would be my final answer there. Now, 5/9 times by 2 then. Well, I'm essentially doubling 5/9, and we know if we're doubling, we are going to add something together twice. So if I just take this same question, but I write it out as an addition instead, so 5/9 add 5/9, I should get an answer of something like 10/9 or 1 and 1/9. Okay, if I was to convert this into this, because obviously 5 times 2 is the same as 5 add 5. So let's have a quick look then. We know we need to make this whole number here into a fraction, so it becomes 2/1. And then I do 5 times 2, which is 10. And then I do 9 times 1, which is 9. Ah, look, 10/9 is the same as 10/9 there. So you can see that the method works. It gives us an equivalent answer. Okay, so you've got my maths based on multiplying fractions, starting to multiply fractions, I think is what it's called. You've also got my maths on mixed numbers, which we sort of just done a bit of mixed numbers there. So the mixed numbers of revision, the starting to multiply fractions, again, is sort of something we've a little bit done during lockdown, but let's get really secure on it now. So a trifle recipe requires 2.5 cups of sugar. A chocolate recipe requires 3 times as much, 3 times. So I'm going to times it by 3, I think. How many cups of sugar go to the cake? Yeah, so I am going to times that by 3. Now, this one's slightly different because we're timesing a mixed number by a whole number, which is fine. So I'm going to partition it. So I'm going to do 2 times by 3, which is this bit. And then I'm going to do my half times by 3. So I've got my 2 and I've got my half. I've just split it apart. Remember, I did this before, and this is how I teach my year 6s to do it. Well, 2 times by 3 is 6, and then half times by 3. Well, if I want to make this half times by 3, I need to make it 3/1. And then I do top times top, bottom times bottom, which is 3/2. So it's 6 and 3/2. However, I can't have 6 and 3/2 because this is top heavy. I need to convert that to a mixed number. Well, 3/2, okay, 3/2 is the same as how many 2's going to 3? 1 and an extra half. So now I can stick 6 and 1.5 back together. Well, my 6 add 1 becomes 7 plus the extra half. So it is 7.5 cups of sugar that would be needed for this. Okay. And then going back to this one, Isabel picks 4 times as many apples as her friend Julio. If Julio picked 5 and won 6 kilograms, and what mass of apples did Isabel pick? Well, she picked 4 times as many. So it's 5 and 1 6 times by 4. We've got a mixed number, and we are timesing this by a whole number. So we need to do 5 times by 4. Then we need to do 1/6 times by 4. So the times by 4 and the times by 4 is always there. And then I split those two there. Well, 5 4s are 20. 1/6 times by 4. I can't do it at the moment, so I'm going to make it 4/1 because remember, a fraction, a number is a fraction, it just becomes itself over 1. So your age is 10/1, so 4 becomes 4/1. And then I do top times top, bottom times bottom. 4 times by 1 is 4. 6 times by 1 is 6. So it becomes 4/6. And we can simplify that to 2/3. Put those back together, so we get 20 and 2/3 kg. That would be how much is picked. Something else we've noticed is that you are still a little bit stuck on adding decimals, so I think that will be coming on My Maths next week. So remember, 10.2 and 0.5, we have our tenths place value here, tenths place value here, so they need to always line up. So we would do a formal method and it becomes 10.5, and that's a very straightforward. 10.7. Now that's a fairly straightforward one, but you do need to remember the decimals need to line up. Then we've got 6.8 add 1.36. Well, here's our ones, decimal point tenths, ones, decimal point tenths, and then we've got hundredths there. So we've got 6.8. Now this decimal needs to add up, line up with this decimal. So I'm going to make sure it goes in this column. Either side of the decimal here, I've got a 1 and I've got 3. And my 6 then is hundredths, so that's going to stick in there. Now to make it slightly easier, I'm going to put a placeholder in here. So I'm going to stick my 0 in there. And I've now got 6.8 add 1.36, working my way along. 6, 7, 8, so it becomes 8.16. Okay, remember your decimals need to line up. 7.14 take away 0.9. Again, with the same thing, except we're going to do our subtraction. So 7.14, each number needs to be in its own box, and then I need to copy the 0.9, remembering that this decimal needs to be under this decimal. So the decimal point from there is going to go there. I've got 0 there and a 9 there. And I'm subtracting. Now, I can't have nothing here. I need to put a placeholder in again. So I'm going to put my 0 in. And it becomes 0, 4 take away 0, which is obviously 4. 1 take away 9. If I hold up one finger, I cannot take away 9 from it. So I need to exchange. That becomes a 6. 1 becomes 11. 9 to 11 is 2. 6 take 0 is 6. So it becomes 6.24. And finally, 6.32 take away 1.573. Remember, the decimals need to line up. I've got a 1 and a 5 either side of the decimal, so I've included those. I've now got a 3 there and a 7 there, and I'm going to stick a placeholder in there so that I can do my subtraction. Now, 0 fingers held up, take away 7. I can't do it. I need to exchange. So the 2 becomes a 1. 10 take 7 is 3. 1 take 3. I cannot do it. If I hold up the top number, which is 1, and take away 3 from it, I can't do it. So 3 becomes a 2. 1 becomes 11. 11 take 3. 11, 10, 9, 8 is my answer there. 2 take 5. Again, I can't do it. So I'm going to exchange. The 6 becomes a 5. 12 take 5 is 7. Decimal point. 5 take 1 is 4. So my answer is 4.783. So that's your maths. You've also got, some of you have got a sheet which looks like, hopefully this one, which is going to open up, I hope, a sheet that looks like this, okay? BIDMAS, remember you need to think like a calculator. It's there for every question, brackets, indices, division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. It would actually on your sheet will look like that. Okay, remember you need to follow the rules, think like a calculator of BIDMAS. Some of you haven't got that sheet, you've got a different sheet, but that will be available on eSchools from Wednesday. Okay, so that'll be on eSchools on Wednesday. Then some of you have got, or you know, if you're doing Lexia, then obviously you do Lexia. The rest of you got a reading PowerPoint, which is looking at a portal, okay, a secret portal, William Wenton and the secret portal. It's the same structure we're always following. Unlock the meaning of the words. Tuesday, unlock the meaning of the words, and then you've got the text, read it, and then you've got some unlock some of those words that you've worked in there, read the text, fluency, understanding, so make sure you understand it. And then Thursday and Friday, you've got some questions based on those and send it to us on Friday. SPAG, same thing goes. Mrs. Ayton spends a lot of time on the SPAG. It's great sentences you always send us. We do enjoy them. Prepositional opener. Well, here you've got some here. Remember, after an opener, you have a comma. Among the trees, and then whatever it is you're going to say. And we want to include some of these ness words here. So we've got grumpiness, so lovely, loveliness, ugly, ugliness. Yes, okay, that's what we're going for. And then some SPAG questions there as well. Obviously writing, you are on week 2 of your writing, so you need to make sure that you need to make sure that you send us that on Friday, persuading us to go somewhere. So this week then we need My Maths in, please make sure you do it. Math sheet, which on eSchools, your SPAG, reading, writing, your topic work for Benin was optional, so you don't have to send that in. You've got 2 weeks starting this week for your Maths Week 29 sheet on eSchools and another arithmetic paper. That's some fantastic scores. Also, don't forget TT Rockstars, the 2-week battle. I think boys are just in the lead, and Doodle Maths as well. So have a brilliant few days. Next video will be on Wednesday.